Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ninja Chickens channel. My name's Maria, and you can find me on Instagram as ninja.chickens, on Ravelry as Ninja Chickens. You can find show notes on the Ravelry, Ninja Chickens Ravelry group, and on my website, ninjachickens.org. Thank you for joining me this morning. It is a kind of chilly morning for August 24th, sometime in late August. It's a Friday. And yeah, I finally got to break out a sweater to wear for a little bit. It's been on the cool side for August, but not really sweater weather yet. And usually it isn't in August. Sweater weather usually doesn't start till at least mid to late September. Every time I want to podcast, the best light is in the morning because of how the sun travels in our on our property. But that's also the noisiest time for the chickens because they're waking up, they're getting food, they're laying eggs. So they're all saying hi. They're just right back there in that yellow chicken house. Goldie's doing well. I've not reintroduced her. I want to make sure she's completely recovered and strong before I reintroduce her. I think tonight I'll put her back in the coop and see how things go tomorrow morning. So yes, this is a fibery, crafty related podcast and with natural dyeing and knitting and sometimes spinning and homesteading and a little homeschooling. So welcome. I appreciate you coming to hang out with me this morning. I have a lot to talk to you about. A lot of finished objects, a good bit of travel, and I know I usually start with my knitting, but I'm really excited to tell you about some of the things that I've done in the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to start there. I will put a little timestamp on the bottom so you know when the knitting starts if you're not interested in the travel stuff. But right after I podcasted last time, 2 weeks ago, I headed out to the Northwoods of Maine for the Wool Scouts retreat that was put on by Sarah of Fiber Trek. And I was super excited about it, if nothing else, but because you have to fly in on a float plane because it's such a remote camp that we went to. But it was absolutely amazing. I really didn't even have the words to describe it when I came home. I just kind of blabbered to everyone about all the things that we did and just how wonderful it felt. So it was a long travel day. I drove from here south to Greenville, South Carolina. Then I flew to Atlanta. Then I flew to New York. Then I flew to Bangor, Maine. And then I got on the float plane and flew into the woods. So for those of you who don't know much about Maine, the northern part of Maine is very isolated. There's not a lot of towns or cities or anything. And this particular area that we were flying into, we were going to a place called Bradford Camps, and Bradford Camps is an old sporting camp that was started, I think, in 1890, where people would come for hunting and fishing and stuff like that. But it's only accessible by old logging roads, scary old logging roads, because there's a lot of big logging trucks going in and out of there. So most people will go in by float plane, and it's surrounded by millions of acres of woods. So it's not like you can, easily just drive up and hop out like at some camps where you can. So it felt isolated. And aside from that, there was no Wi-Fi, no internet or telephone signal or anything. So you put all your electronics away and you're there. You have no choice but to just be completely present because you're not called to, a phone call from someone or a FaceTime or Skyping or, Instagram or whatever. You're there with the people you're there with. It's a small group. There are only so many cabins. And you have to be completely present. And I needed that so badly. It was so amazing. I mean, I know that I live out on some acreage and I live in a small community, smaller, but still I'm connected 24/7 to whoever I want to be around the world. And though I try to be present in the day, it's very easy to get sucked into what's going on. outside in other worlds. And it was just amazing. It was very rejuvenating. It was, it's like summer camp. You know, when you're a kid and you go off to summer camp and you don't have the responsibilities of home and you get to make your own choices, and you feel this freedom and you feel this connection to the people who are there because they're experiencing the same things that you are. And that's what it felt like. It felt like adult summer camp, which was awesome. So some of the things that we did, there were definitely fibery related things, but there were also kind of primitive skills and other things. So for example, one of the first days I was there, Mary Jane Mucklestone did a class on maritime and Maine mittens, and then taught how to make thrummed mittens. And then we went from that to learning how to fly fish and orienteering using a compass and map and paddling on a canoe. There was indigo dyeing with Sarah Lake of Upton Yarns. I did a class on botanical printing, plant and tree identification walks and hikes to waterfalls, and swimming in this deep, cold glacier lake. It was really nice. And you'd wake up every morning simply because the sun was coming in your cabin, and everything was quiet except occasionally the loons. We saw moose. It was, yeah, I want to go back really bad. So I'm definitely hoping to go back next year for the Wool Scouts retreat, but I want to take my family out there. I think everybody here, I mean, my husband works on computers. My kids are connected to video games and computers all the time. I think the whole family could use that disconnect for a little bit, just to remember or even experience for the first time kind of in my kids' lives, because the computers and phones have always been around since they've been born. You know, experience what that's like. So anyway, it was really amazing. The little, you know, there's always swag bags and goodies at the retreat, and I'll put a picture of all the goodies we got. It was beautiful yarn, and a compass, and really cool little scissors that look like a bird, and just super sweet things. I made a tea. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of it. It was a really amazing experience. And when I got home from that, we went almost immediately about an hour and a half south to my husband's aunt's house to watch the solar eclipse. In Asheville, we're at about 99.8%. But I had read and heard people say, if you have the chance to get to 100% eclipse, you have to do that because 99.9 isn't good enough. And I really didn't understand why. I mean, it's gonna be beautiful anyway, but there are some things that happen when it's completely covered. And I'll put in a little video so you can see. It was really amazing.
You listen to birds. Birds are gonna start singing.
Daddy. Look at the ground.
Even though you can,
Oh my God!
it has to be complete. Whoops.
What's about to happen?
It's 2:37.
Here it goes.
Any second. It's not there.
It's gone. That's
Now
it.
it is.
That's it, you guys. That's it. Oh my God, look at that.
That's it. It's gone. Oh, let me get
Look,
picture.
it's like a sunset.
Look at it. That's me.
The crickets went off.
It was super hot in Greenville. We were sweating standing out there watching as the moon started covering the sun. But the temperature really dropped, probably at least 10 to 15 degrees when the sun was covered. The lights almost went out. You could see on the horizon what looked like a sunrise, but directly down it was dark. As the sun was getting covered, the birds were singing. The crickets were chirping, like it was nighttime. And then when it was covered, there were like these ripples. Like if you look at sunshine in the water and how it travels through the water, that's what it looked like around the sun, these ripples around the sun, and like a diamond effect. And it was just beautiful. And I kept thinking, you know, we better make sure we're ready to put our glasses back on, you know, your filter glasses for when the sun comes out, because I didn't think I would know, like, when it was completely over. And then it was about 2.5 minutes that we got to watch it be completely covered. And then all of a sudden, it was just like someone turned on, like in the complete dark, someone turned on their brights right into your eyes. It just came out of the corner, this bright spark of light, and you knew immediately, I better put my glasses back on, because it was just that tiniest bit. It was so bright you couldn't look at it. And when you looked at the ground, it was that same, once the eclipse was done, it was that same ripple effect, like water on the ground. And before and after the complete solar eclipse, the shadows looked like crescents, because that's the part of the sun that was showing. So if you looked in the trees, at the shadows of the trees, or I saw some people were holding colanders up, the shadow that you got on the ground looked like a crescent moon, which was really cool. So I'm hooked. The next full eclipse that's going to be over the United States is in 2024, so it's only 7 years away. I feel like we should start planning, because I mean, it was 2.5 minutes, but 2.5 minutes of really cool. And the build up of it too was really fun. So I would recommend, if you ever get to be in the 100% zone, I would take that opportunity, because it's beautiful anyway, but just the lights going out and that eerie feeling, it's really cool. So that's what I've been up to the last couple of weeks, and it's been a great time. I hope you guys have been having a really nice couple of weeks. Summer's ending here for us, because the kids are starting back at school, and you know, I guess it's a little over about a month away, a little less than a month away until the official fall equinox. But you know, the weather's starting to change. Things are starting to get back into it, and I'm excited for fall. Well, partly because I get to wear all my knitting, but I don't know. It's a nice season. I feel like there's a lot of nice gatherings. The cool weather makes you want to slow down a little bit, start going inward. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. I'm sure I will come up with more things to tell you about both of those, but I will get onto my knitting. I have 3 finished objects. The first is the thrummed mittens that we did for Mary Jane Mucklestone's class. I finished those while I was there. Here they are. I used fern fiber yarn. Gosh, it's bright. I thought I had the sun covered, but I guess it's not as much as I thought. I had some old yarn that it was spun up at the mill when we were first getting started, and it wasn't spun great. It was a little tight. There was some thick and thin, so we kept it for ourselves. And this one was dyed with indigo and cochineal. There you go. You can see a little bit better. And then the little thrums are roving, and I put a little red thrum in the palm of each one. There you go. They're super squishy. So thrummed mittens, if you don't know, you knit a small piece of roving in every so often with a stitch. And the inside is super thick and has all these pieces of wool so that it keeps your hands nice and warm. So they're really good snow mittens. Super big and squishy, good for throwing snowballs. So these will be fun this winter. Maybe according to the Farmer's Almanac, we're supposed to be getting a bunch of snow this winter, which would be really nice. So I finished those thrummed mittens by Mary Jane Mucklestone. I also finished on the plain 2 Wool Scouts my botanically printed socks. Okay, let's see if that's a little bit better. So this is the botanically printed sock blank that I knit up. Here's the other one. I've got my other blocker for another sock. So they turned out pretty similar, even though they were going from different ends of the sock blank. And they fit really well. This is my standard vanilla sock. I cast on 20 stitches for toe up, and then increased to 56. And then did a mini heel flap, Mina Phillips mini heel flap. And I did the I just plain old knit my heel. Whenever I turned it, I didn't purl. I just kept knitting. So basically like garter, because it's faster and I don't like to purl. And I think it looks good. I feel like it might actually make it a little bit stronger there. And this was a German short row heel. And then I just knit till it seemed like a good length. And I love how they turned out. And because I finished those pretty quickly on the way up to Wool Scouts, I had brought some yarn to do other socks because it's simple travel knitting. And I cast those on the flight up and I finished them this past week. So these are going to be for Kaya, who likes knee socks. Aren't those awesome? If she doesn't, she hasn't seen them yet. I was going to give them to her for the first day of school since she's starting high school this year. If she doesn't like them, they're mine because now we have the same size foot. So these, it's the exact same thing, cast on 20, go up to 56, and the same kind of heel. But these I knit until I pretty much had no more yarn left, and they stripe backwards basically, because one was knit from the inside of the ball and one was knit from the outside, but I was able to end them both on green, which is nice. And I love them. I did increase as I went up because of the size of the calf, and I think I ended up with 76 stitches, and it fits nicely. These are Rock and String Creation, and I got them last year, I think. I know it was one of the retreats. I don't remember if it was SSK or Into the Wool. And Kaya was really into vampires and zombies and stuff like that at the time. She was going through what she called her pastel goth phase. And I saw these and thought they would be awesome. The colorway is called Zombies Walk at Midnight. And if you look right here, there's two colors where there were little pops of red that was supposed to, I guess, look like, I thought it was supposed to look like blood, like zombies. And so whenever I would get to those, I would slip that stitch. So it makes a little bit of a texture. So I slipped the stitch and then knit it into the next row. And I don't know, it just brought a little bit of a texture out, and you can see here. And I thought it looked really cool. So she is wanting to get these clear puddle boots. So she wanted some good socks to wear with those, and I think those will be perfect. And I want her to love them because she can be a little picky. But if she doesn't, I'll be really happy because then they'll be mine. But I have some more of the Rock and String Creation yarn in a really pretty blue and purple colorway, so I might cast those on for me for the winter. So those are my 3 finished objects. I, of course, had to cast on more things. So I have been working on the Modern Die. I'm halfway through, let's see. I'm halfway through the lace. So I have about 35 repeats of the lace border. It's getting really long. People keep coming up to me when I'm knitting in public and saying, "Are you making a really long scarf?" And I have to explain to them, no, I'm not. And what a hap is, because most people think I'm saying hat. So I have many, many repeats of this. And I'm about halfway through. I knit on it all day yesterday and got maybe 10. Was it about to? Yeah, I think about 10 repeats of the lace. Not all day, I guess, 3 or 4 hours while Leaf was doing some classes. So if I really put my mind to it, I can get through that lace pretty quickly. But I did cast on some more socks. I was supposed to actually have a friend of mine come over last night who wanted me to teach her how to knit socks. And she was supposed to come over at 7, and right around 7, she texted and said, I can't come over. I'm really sick. I'm pregnant. And I was like, ah! She's been trying for a few months. She just recently got married. And so I was like, well, now you really need to learn how to knit socks because you've got a baby on the way. So hopefully she'll be feeling a little bit better soon and we can sit down and knit socks. But I'd been planning on casting on some socks to show her how to do it. So I cast them on anyway because I'll have more to cast on when she does come over. And I think I talked about this in episode 2, it's been a while, that I was going to cast on Lucky Me Socks by Pia Camaborn. And they're super cute ribbed socks with a shamrock design on the top. My stepfather's Irish, and so I thought it would be a really nice holiday gift for him to make him some socks. And I guess I'd kind of put it off because he wears white socks. He doesn't wear any other color. And he has big feet. So I was like, white socks, big feet, that's going to take a long time. It's going to be really boring. But when I saw how fast those that I knit for Kaya knit up, even though it's self-striping and you want to keep getting to the next color, I was like, I can do this. It won't take long. And, you know, it's a nice design, so it'll be good. And so I cast on last night, and I've got this so far, just the toes of each of them. And I'm doing, the pattern is from the cuff down, but I'm doing it toe up just because that's the way I always do my socks. And I'll just, it won't be hard to figure out the pattern the other way around. It'll be really simple since it's kind of a reversible pattern. So yeah, I'm doing this in Magpie Fibers, Swanky Sock, Fior de Latte colorway. And then I've got a one-of-a-kind skein from HKNT. I can't remember what that stands for, of the green that I thought would make a really nice shamrock. So I'll work on those in the next couple of weeks. And that's it. I haven't been working at all on the crochet blanket because, like I said, it kind of sucks me in, and then I don't want to do anything else. So I'm trying to get a few other things done before I get back into that. Let's see. Oh, I did want to show you, I guess it was 2 episodes ago that I had shown you that I was doing a little experiment with the botanical printing, that I'd done 3 of these, and I unwrapped one as soon as it was cool enough to unwrap. I waited till the other one was dried, and then I had a 3rd one that I was going to unwrap after 1 month. And so I unwrapped that one last week, and here they all are. Let's see if I can hold them all up. This one was unwrapped when it was cool. This one as soon as it was dried, and this one after 1 month. And honestly, there's really little difference. Really very little at all. These were all wrapped around a PVC pipe. So it is possible that if I was to wrap them around around a branch or around a copper pipe or around something else that could act as a mordant, like the branch has tannins in it if I used a branch of a tree, that over time those tannins would alter the color a little bit, deepen the color maybe, because if I steamed the branch, it's going to take longer to dry, definitely. And so over that month, it may have made a little bit more depth to the color. So I may have to try that next. But as far as wrapping around the PVC pipe goes, it looks to me like you can unwrap it as soon as it's cool, and you'll get the same effect as after a month, which is good to know because I don't have patience. So that was a cool experiment. Oh, and I was going to show you when I was teaching the botanical printing class. It was so much fun up at Wool Scouts. It was supposed to be maybe a 3-hour class, and we ended up starting it in the morning thinking, well, it's going to take time for some of the things to simmer or steam. And we did kind of a plain silk first without too many alterations, and then I talked with them about using what's called dye blankets or iron blankets and other ways that you can do it, and it went all day long. We started around 9:30. It took me, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes to set up. Then we started the class at 9:30, and I didn't put the pots away till 6 p.m. We did 4 batches of steaming, and every time the steaming was done, everyone would gather and we would have a grand reveal, and it was so much fun. There was like, ooh, and ah, the whole time. I loved it. It made me smile so big, and everybody seemed happy with their prints, and even a few of the crew at the camp participated and made some prints, which was really sweet. So this was the first thing that I did just to show as an experiment how you can do it. And there's eucalyptus, and there's black walnut leaf, and butterfly pea flower, and geranium. I can't remember what else I had in there. It looks very, very blown out, but it has some beautiful colors in it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, and we did napkins, we did silks, and I want to do it again. I really, really enjoyed it. So that's all the dyeing that I have really for you. I'm going to be doing a bunch more botanical printing on sock blanks, I think probably in the next couple of weeks as school gets started and the kids are busy with other things. Both of them will be in classes on Mondays and Thursdays, and that way I know I'll have those days to play. Oh, let's see. Such a busy couple of weeks. I forgot about the giveaway. Yes, so I'm announcing a giveaway, a winner to a giveaway, and announcing a new giveaway. So last episode, Ellie from Skein Knits offered her new Selbu Mitten Club to you guys, to one winner. It's her original Selbu Mitten pattern, which is already out, and then 3 patterns that will come out September 1st, October 1st, November 1st. It's 3, right? All the details are on the page. But it's many patterns of mittens, colorwork mittens with beautiful designs. The first one is kind of the easiest one to get into. So for people who've never done it before, you can try it out, learn how it works, and then they get progressively a little bit harder. So I test knit the first mitten and really loved it. It's absolutely beautiful. I did it in some fern fiber yarn and some yarn that I got from Scotland last year. And it turned out lovely. It was an easy knit, an easy pattern to follow. So she has offered you guys her club. And I asked you to tell me about some of your favorite summer memories. And so much fun reading those responses. It was the same thing the last time I had asked the question. I love getting to know you guys better. And you know, I forget you guys get to see my life every couple of weeks and hear what I'm talking about. And I see some of your names when you leave comments, and I know some of you through Instagram, but getting to meet some of you a little more in depth when you answer some of the questions for giveaways, or if you respond to the episode thread, it's really sweet. And I loved reading what you guys enjoyed during the summer or summers past. And the interesting thing was there wasn't a single person who said on there, my favorite summer was the summer I got to sit around and play video games all summer, or my favorite summer was the summer that I watched TV all summer. I think at least 90%, if not 100% of you said something about being outside, watching sunsets, or playing in the lake, or being at Grandpa's farm, something about being outdoors, which speaks a lot to what really brings us joy. And my daughter Kaya knew that I was doing this giveaway, and I made her read them. And at the end I said, did you notice that nobody said anything about being on the computer? Because she's on her computer too much. And I'm kind of letting her do that this summer to get it out of her system, because I know that in a couple of weeks that's not going to be happening. And I'm hoping she will see the change in her attitude and emotions, and that she feels better. But yeah, overwhelmingly the response was something about being in nature. And I thought that was really interesting. So you should go read some of the responses. It's really cool. But the winner, we had 64 entries. So I typed in on random.org 2 through 65, because mine was the first one. And number 7, Sparky 136 is the winner. And I want to read to you guys her entry. She said, my favorite summer memory is going to the creek with my boyfriend and his son. The water was so cold and clear, just perfect for a hot summer day. So very nice. And yes, being outdoors. So Sparky, if you'll contact me, I will have Ellie of Skein Knits hook you up with her new pattern club. congratulations. And those of you who are really interested, you really should go check it out. I think it'd be a lot of fun to knit some of those up. They're quick knits. The first one anyway was in DK light worsted weight, so it went really fast. And I think because they're color work, they keep your attention, and that would be really fun knits for the holidays, for gifts that you want to give. So our next giveaway is a combination giveaway, and I think I'm going to call it my end of summer giveaway. And what you will win, there's going to be 2 prizes for 2 separate people, so you have a better chance of winning. The first thing is the Sand Bloom Shawl by Piper Nell, and it's a beautiful new design that she put out. I believe there's 2 sizes in 2 different colors, and the texture and the way the colors mix are just really attractive and pleasing to the eye. So I'm excited that she donated that pattern to one of you guys. So that will be the first giveaway. And the second one was sent to me by a local friend who is Charity of Blue Ridge Knits. She sent one for me and she sent one for you. So this is her beautiful birch birdie bag. This one's mine. The one that you will get will be almost exactly the same with a different colored zipper. And it's super sweet. It's perfect for a sock, or a smaller pattern. It has really cute design inside. And then she also sent you like a hand moisturizer, cocoa butter, olive oil, beeswax, vanilla extract. Yep. So Blue Ridge Knits. And yours is unwrapped. That's why I'm not showing it to you. So that will be the second prize. I will have a thread up in the Ravelry group, and the question is going to be about any fun plans that you have for your fall or spring if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. That's coming up. And if you don't have any plans, say don't have any plans. That's totally fine. You can still enter, but I just like hearing more about what you guys are up to. And Charity also sent you guys a coupon. It's good through December 31st of this year. And the coupon, I'll put it down below, is Ninja Chickens 17, all capitals. And that is through her Etsy store, Blue Ridge Knits. And again, I will link that for you. And that way you can enter to win the bag. And if you don't, then you'll have a great coupon. And that is for free shipping in the US until December 31st. I will draw a winner the Thursday night before the next podcasting. So I'll put that all the details in the Ravelry group. Okay. Gosh, are we finishing up already? I felt like there was so much to talk to you about. And maybe I have been rambling on forever. Sometimes I can't tell how long I've been talking. I did make you a tea. It is my elderberry tea, since some of you are interested in elderberry. For those who don't know, you can use the elder flower and the elderberry as a really nice medicine. The flower has been used historically for fever. It's really nice for children. It's a nice calming herb, but it's especially useful in colds and flus. The berry, even more so in viruses. Gosh, it's been years since I've really researched it, but what I'm remembering is that it somehow takes apart the virus's replicating mechanism so that it's not able to reproduce in your body. And that's why it's an herb that's important to take as soon as you start feeling sick with a virus, because it will nip it in the bud. Whereas if you've had the flu, for a week or something, it's still not going to hurt to take it, but it won't work as effectively. So we keep a elderberry tincture that we make with other good immune herbs on the counter basically all year round, but especially September through March. Sometimes we'll just take a squirt of it every day just as a kind of preventative. But this tea is elderberry, ginger root, cinnamon chips, and orange peel. the elderberry for the immune boosting, and the ginger, cinnamon, and orange peel for the vitamin C and other immune effects, and because it's tasty. So you can't really see it great in here. But it's 6 parts elderberries, 1 part each of dried ginger root, sweet cinnamon chips, and orange peel. It's a really light tea. It doesn't have a ton of flavor, but it's a nice one because sometimes when you're not feeling well, you don't want something so pungent. It is just the slightest bit bitter, just the tiniest little aftertaste, and that's calmed down if you put a little cream or coconut milk in it. Or you could add 1 part also to this spearmint, which would also help cut down on that bitter taste, which again, it's really not very bitter at all. I always have my husband try the teas and he's like, just the slightest bit of bitter aftertaste, but I like it. It's light, slightly tart because of the orange and the elderberry. But yeah, so there is your tea blend for this week, your elderberry tea. And I'm going to send this little packet to whoever wins the project bag also. Since I'll be sending you something out, I'll send some tea with it. And I did, as far as acquisitions, I did get a black box from the Bee Queen collection. They do natural dyeing as well as making fabulous crochet hooks. Their crochet hooks are hand spun on a lathe by the husband and then carved out by the wife, Mackenzie. And I've shown you one before when I got one from a friend as a gift, and I got another one along with their black box, which comes with a bunch of goodies in it. And well, I was going to save it for next episode, but I'm talking about it now anyway, so I'm going to show you. So it comes in a black box, and it's wrapped with, I just have to explain the packaging to you because that's part of my favorite parts. It's wrapped with a black twine, and then there's I can show you. We kept it. There is a wax seal like this on the box. So this one has it also. Let's see if I can focus. There you go. Which I don't know why I like opening things with wax seals, but it makes me feel old-timey, and I just think wax seals are very cool. So you have to break the wax seal to open the box, and then inside the box are all these treasures, and you really know nothing about what's going to be in there except for the hook. So first there's the hook, which I've been wanting. I needed a hook for my crochet blanket because I didn't have the right size. So this is a size 4, and I think it's called Goncalo wood, which is absolutely stunning. And all of their hooks are, like I said, they're spun, hand spun, and then carved. And the top of it has, I guess this is a queen chess pattern. There are rooks and other designs that they put on the top. And then it's got this flat spot right here for your thumb, which it feels really nice to use in your hand. It's not too heavy. It doesn't catch on anything because it's nice and smooth. And then I'll put in a picture of all the other goodies that were in there because there were so many things. There was candies and tea and a really beautiful leather pouch for notions. There was 3 mini skeins of beautiful yarn, and a really lovely project bag by Modular. Everything was under the theme of what's called peachy. So there was peachy tea and peachy colored yarn, and the bag matches with the yarn. Yeah, it was a really sweet collection. And if you're planning on getting, I'm not sure how often she puts them out. I think there's only been 3 so far. But if you're planning on getting a hook, it's something nice to look into as a treat. I wanted to treat myself. I really wanted that specific wood of the hook, and when I saw that it was coming in that black box, I just wanted a little treat. So that's what I got myself, and I think it's a really nice purchase. It's been a really nice couple of weeks. I hope the next couple of weeks go the same. The kids are going back to school. Leaf actually started some classes yesterday. he and I are still mostly full-time homeschooling. Kaya will be starting her classes after Labor Day, and she's really nervous, but I'm hoping she'll fall in love with it once they get started. I think that's it. I can't think of any other major things that have been going on. There's been a lot of major things going on, but I hope you guys have an amazing couple of weeks, and I will see you for episode 18 in September. Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming out. Bye.
If that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's in a